let's go ahead and get the political thing out of the way. And I don't know if we discussed it last week or it was during when we were talking or texting and everything. But Republicans in Georgia try to prevent people from early voting on Saturdays. It has officially been shut down, but just to get a breakdown of it, here's a video that explains it a little better.
Following the November 8th election, neither Raphael Warnock nor Herschel Walker had attained 50% of the vote. So under Georgia state law, they are going to a December 6th runoff. In the past couple weeks, the two parties, Republicans and Democrats, have fought over whether early voting should be allowed tomorrow, November 26th, with Democrats wanting the extra day while Republicans were adamantly opposed. In fact, several Republican groups, including the Republican National Committee, filed lawsuits to stop early voting on Saturday. They were unsuccessful, and the courts sided with the Saturday voting. But not all counties are on board, and there's been confusion because Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger had already told counties they could not hold early voting on November 26th. So now that the courts have said otherwise, only 10 counties will have early voting tomorrow. Republican groups have said those 10 counties are all Democratic-leaning counties. All the other counties will wait until Monday. And for our area, in southeast Georgia, all the counties will wait to start voting on Monday, except Ware County. They will allow earlier voting starting tomorrow.
So again, this is one of those.
You see how crazy that county's drawn up?
I was like, look at that tiny little strip down there to connect it with the bigger part.
Welcome to Georgia. We got 133 counties, I want to say. And
wow.
Yeah, some of them are quite creative.
So as you see, this one of, in my opinion, this was one of those attempts that they knew wasn't going to pass, but they knew what damage could be done, and the damage was done.
Well, they knew it was. They actually, it did pass. Like, so, layers upon layers, right? So, back when we had Governor Deal, the predecessor to Kemp, he was the one who passed the law about like you can't have, you can't have like the Saturday voting within however many days of a holiday, and then he created, or he didn't create it, it already existed, but he made it an official state holiday for Confederates Day, so that it could block your ability to have that. But then they did this thing where they shortened how many weeks? Pardon me, how many weeks we had for early voting? From 9 to 6. And that was why this Saturday, the one yesterday, became an issue, because it's the only Saturday that existed in our early voting schedule once they shortened how long you have to vote. So it's games within games. I mean, and then right now, because no one really learns the lesson, right? They just take their talking points and run with them. So the Republicans on their side are saying, hey, look, we actually have higher turnout than we had before. So obviously this isn't voter disenfranchisement. So basically they fought back harder than I expected them to. So obviously they're okay, right? And then you got the Democrats who are acting like they got some kind of a mandate coming out of this election when really they didn't. So no one's looking at what's really going on. But hey, Georgia, early voting starts on Monday. I understand that most of you didn't know about Saturday. I don't trust what they were doing with these games. I didn't want my vote tied up in some weird court battle, which is why I didn't bother voting Saturday. But go out there and vote this week. Literally will take you maybe 5 minutes. So this, just show up.
Yeah, pretty much. Just show up. Mickey is here. Hi, y'all. Sorry I'm late, but I was educating a brainwashed Trumpster who insists that Biden and Bernie started the war in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Oh, child, don't waste your time with people.
Just because. Just because.
Good for you, Mickey. Yes.
You
More
better than
power
me,
to
because
you.
I ain't got time for that kind of foolishness.
That ain't better than me. I'm not fit to hold a conversation with something like that. Like I said, once it's just like whoosh, I'm like, okay. I can't do that no more. Prove it to me and show me and what you talking about. No.
Well, I noticed I caught myself slipping a little bit. So like yesterday, I was hanging out with my brother, and we met this older gentleman. I think he said he was 70, a black man, and we were having a conversation about voting. And my brother's not really big on voting, right? He's one of those cats. It's like I don't see nothing coming out of it, blah blah blah, right? And so I'm talking to him, and the older gentleman picks up on it, and he starts talking too. And it was a good conversation, but it reminded me that I allowed myself to kind of start slipping a little bit because I've been focusing too much on that political side because we're in a political season.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really my politics either. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fight the political fight, but you also got to fight the street fight. You also got to fight the economic fight. You got to fight the organizing fight. You got to fight on every level in every way. And like one point I made to the older gentleman, I was like, if I talk to somebody and they say that they don't vote, personally, I think it's the minimum you can do. Like, it don't even take no real effort, folks. You know what I'm saying? Go cash your little lottery ticket. You might win something, right? But if you tell me that you don't and you have your reasons why you don't, and then I ask you, well, what do you do instead? If you can tell me something else you're doing, I'm not going to push you too hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say, I appreciate it. I wish you would still vote. But, you out here taking care of the seniors. You out here taking care of the kids. You out here trying to organize in your community. You know what I'm saying? You doing the good work. At least you win the fight, So I'm getting back on my own too on this one, man, because I noticed I was slipping hard. I was like, dang, huh? I mean, you get sucked into this mess.
Did anybody else's power go, like the screen just go out and then y'all came all back on, or was it just me?
Anna's went out.
Mine went out, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm like, where did everybody go?
Everybody just froze on my end. So, Theus, would you like to repeat everything you just said? No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, I ain't saying nothing that was all that important. No way.
But what are you specifically slipping on? I'm a little.
Oh, meaning that my focus became a little bit too much on politics.
Gotcha.
So, because like Marlon, I don't think you guys were present at the time, but like I was telling Marlon, now that the Senate race, more or less the Senate race is behind us, we got to show up one more time, take care of this here in Georgia, folks. Just because there's no way Herschel Walker, I don't care what your politics are, you should be embarrassed to ever vote for Herschel Walker. I mean, you just should be embarrassed for real. Yeah, I wouldn't want him being a crossing guard, let alone being a senator. So there's that. But I'm back on my presidential kick, where it's kind of like the Democrats taking the wrong message coming out of this election is really irritating me. I knew they were going to do it, but it's always different when
it happens.
When it happens, And I'm like, yo, it's time for some brinksmanship. It's time for the Black community, the Latino community, the women who are able to operate outside of the red and blue, the queer community, everybody who has an agenda and a need, find where we overlap on certain things and build voting blocks. Everybody ain't gonna come with you, but if you can get together something that says I can deliver 10,000 votes, I can deliver 30,000 votes, you can get somebody to pay attention to you a little bit, And I'm like, I don't care who gets to be president as far as party. I don't care who gets to be president, as long as they don't get the House and the Senate too.
Yeah.
Mm.
We put this message up real quick. Yeah, I saw that full interview. You all wasn't lying, LOL. I don't understand how anyone can be running for a government elected position but take the stance of there should be no public schools.
Well,
Mm.
y'all leave
Safety
the
Best
interview.
Man was on one.
Leave the interview. Okay, I'm gonna keep on making references to Wilkins Coffee. That's what I'm gonna do.
I like those commercials.
You can go ahead and make it because the Wilson Coffee wasn't running for an elected position.
And he made more sense.
And it made more sense, yeah.
Late. It was in the past. That's where the interview should be left at.
I got a whole month left.
I don't understand that concept. Like, at what point does something rest in the past? Like, it's situational, right? Like,
It is, but I'm
It's
calling it.
situational.
I'm saying this is interviews in the past. Let's talk about my good interviews.
You did a good
That
job.
was a good interview. Like I said,
Look how much we
night.
talking about it. It had to be a good interview.
Like I said
No.
last night, you were very good. You're a very good interviewer. Yo, interviewee. Put up on all four.
I'm listening to a brother talk about the free market system is the answer to all of our problems. Like he wouldn't, like his people didn't used to be part of that system.
We
Bruh.
we are the free market system.
Bruh.
It was free.
Mm.
My first response to him was polite, but my second, I laughed my ass off at his ignorance. But see, Nikki, and I get
wouldn't
what
have
you're saying.
responded. I'd been like, nah.
I just don't care no more. I really don't want to put in the energy to argue somebody down when I know 5 minutes from the time I finish the argument, they're gonna start it right back from scratch with somebody new. I'm tired. I just don't want to do it anymore.
And that's, but here's the thing: if you're doing it one-on-one, like Mickey's kind of describing, it, you know, y'all heard me say this before. Decide what you want to come out of it as you're going in. You know, so if you go in there just trying to dispute facts, it will never work. Like it just doesn't work. They're so grounded in that whatever facts you got, they got one. You know, but if you got the energy, and if you spend the time talking to one of these knuckleheads, you kind of got a little energy. You got to go towards like, what are their aspirations? What are their expectations? What matters to them, and then draw them out. You know?
Yeah. What is your end game with this argument that you're making?
Hey,
Well, you know, it doesn't matter what theirs is. It's what yours
No,
is.
I would want to know by you saying, for instance, the Biden and Bernie started the war in Afghanistan. And I know you're wrong, but I'm not going to argue facts with you, especially to a group of people who my facts are fake and your facts is on the 15th channel of 15th page of Google. So I'm not going to argue with you on any of that thing. But I would ask, can you explain to me what is your goal from that statement that you made? What would you want to see happen? Because if it was true that Bernie and Biden started the Afghan war, what do you want to come from this?
They were both senators.
It's like, okay, they
But
were in the
that's just
Senate.
it.
They voted.
They were both
What's that?
senators.
I want to say they both voted for the war, didn't they?
They
Even
both
Bernie.
voted. Yeah.
Among
No,
a lot
Bernie
of other
voted
people.
against it.
Bernie didn't
Bernie voted against it. Biden voted for it.
Okay.
for it. Right.
That makes
That's how it went.
Okay, you're right.
But you can't get into the
So-
weeds with that particular argument because one, they're reaching back 20 years on a war that nobody agrees with.
Yeah. It was a dumb
and
war to
then-
begin with.
And then it's like, so I wouldn't engage with them on this, but so you pointed out these two people that you think I support voted for this war, and everybody you support voted for this war. So
Mhm.
what's the
Parker said both of
point?
them voted for it.
Parker, you better check that again.
He said the only one that voted against it was
Barbara
Barbara
Lee
Lee.
is a
That
congressman.
makes sense because I'm thinking Afghanistan, remember, was a response
Hold
to
on.
September 11th.
Yeah, hold on.
Everybody was in unison. It was Iraq that people were like, yo, I don't know about that one. But Afghanistan, man, I'm gonna go with Parker. His facts always are real tight. Oh,
In the beginning, they were saying we should go to Afghanistan. Suddenly, the next morning, it was like we were in Iraq. Didn't Afghanistan start after?
no, Afghanistan happened first. Like within 2 or 3 weeks of us being attacked, we were moving on to Afghanistan. And then
We
at
were,
some
okay.
point, we pivoted into Iraq. And people are like, what?
What just happened? Yep.
But
Bernie
weapons
Sanders
of
did
master,
vote
yeah,
for
you
it.
know. They tried to kill
Yeah.
his daddy, so he had to go handle some business. That's what that was.
It was the war that I'm getting confused with.
And in 2019, in 2019 interview, he admit that he was wrong. Bernie Sanders admit Barbara Lee, only member of the Congress in 2001 who did it right on the Afghan war.
And I think that
yeah.
it's really kind of I'm not saying it's not important or have any value. I just don't think it has much value.
No,
Because
that was a fact finding thing. And it's just
Yeah,
that
we was. I just said the wrong thing.
no, I'm with you. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to authorizing a war, it's kind of like authorizing funds for defense. You know,
Right.
I can't hold against any senator authorizing more money for the Defense Department. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold that against you because America likes to walk around swinging a big stick. So if you don't want these people that we've been harassing for 200 years to come over here, then you better keep the big stick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that they should do a what do you call it? Like an audit. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to know about it. Like, there's a lot of stuff America, for real people, we don't need to know everything the government does. We just don't. Because we look how stupid we are with stuff they do tell us. But they should climb all up in those budgets.
Y'all just never gonna let me live this down.
Yeah, I think I know your answer to this question. No, you didn't.
No, she did. I bet she did.
Oh, I think she.
There was
Yeah.
nothing in that dude's attitude, answers, or anything that would go with, oh yeah, I support reparations. Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, he was like a baby ruckus. You know what I'm saying? I think of him like Clayton Bixby. You know? So I'm like,
Cartman. All right, let's go ahead and get into the social aspect of it.
Thank you.
Trust me, there is so many tons of.
but get a man credit though. He showed up with his safety vest because, you know, safety first is always what matters. I respect.
Casey, what was the name of the first lady? Not Hanifa.
Constance
before?
Every. Constance was the
She-
first person first female I ever had on.
Oh, she was great.
I liked her.
That was a really solid interview.
I liked her.